Here. That's right. I was the FBI all along. Ha! Got you. Well, Kash Patel is now the presumptive head of the FBI, and he's planning on some big changes. Here are 10 drastic changes coming to the Bureau. Number 1, all FBI agents must go back to wearing trench coats, carrying snub-nosed revolvers, and saying, "See?" after every statement. It's time to return to the glory days, see? Number 2, let's cancel all current plans to assassinate Donald Trump. It's only fair. He did win. We let him. Number 3, all of Melania's sundresses recovered during the Mar-a-Lago raid must be returned. We've had them long enough. That means you, Steve. Number 4, from now on, all agents must submit a written request before grooming a domestic terrorist. A return to common sense MK Ultra policies. Number 5, the X-Files are to be reopened. That's right, I'm doing it. The truth is, after all, out there. Number 6, new applicants must weigh under 400 pounds. This is a step in the right direction for fitness requirements. I don't want to hear any complaints, Steve. I don't even know how you fit in that sundress. Number 7, the services of the Chief Officer of Quadriplegic Black Lesbian Representation will no longer be required. Steve, you're fired. No severance package. Number 8, remove all 850 wiretaps at Mar-a-Lago. It's pretty boring listening anyway. Trump just keeps, bragging about how great he is. We get it. He's Trump. Number 9, agents will now be required to arrest criminals. This is a new cutting-edge idea in criminal justice. I don't want to hear any complaints. Get out there and do your jobs. And finally, number 10, all work retreats to Epstein Island are canceled. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Kash Patel is a bit of a party pooper. It's a shame, too. I had gotten all the 3 keys to open up the temple. I was gonna find out the secrets there. Well, it really looks like Kash Patel is gonna get the FBI back in shape, see? I need to get my new trench coat, see?
10, 3, 8. Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps,
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Nostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. We don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Breaking down national security with former Secretary Robert Wilkie. The death of DEI and one of America's most notorious killers, Patrice Onwuka and Abby Johnson. Plus, lots of sketch comedy from the Babylon Bee and the Glorious American. And making her debut, Jamie McDonald in the spotlight. And now, from Times Square, the only man in attendance at last week's inaugural who wasn't caught eye-groping, the future Mrs. Bezos. Here.
Is that what we're calling it now? You said that I was the only guy there, which I wasn't there, caught not eye-groping, Mrs. Bezos. Is that what?
Yeah. Should we not?
No, it's true. No, it's a good term. It's a very good term because Mr. Zuckerberg was.
Yes.
And there were a few others.
Uh-huh.
And it made for interesting commentary following the inauguration because you think the nation's been an absolute disaster and a wreck, and it should be the focus that we're going to go in a different direction. And the president gave a fine speech and all the things that he wanted to focus on and have us come away with, and really great changes. And then the future Mrs. Bezos shows up almost dressed, and when she sits down, it's like all of the and did you notice it was all the web guys?
I did.
It was all the internet guys that were like, and it's like, dudes, maybe you've been in the basement too long. I don't know. Maybe you made your mansions into basements when you made your millions. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, when you're out in public, I don't care how beautiful the lady is. If you're going to go, people are going to notice, and then you're probably not going to be invited back to like the next inauguration.
Probably not.
Which absolutely just blew the minds of Rachel Maddow and a lot of these people anyway. So, it wasn't a bad day, but yes, I was not among those who were eye-groping the future. That's a good term, Dave.
Thank you.
Got to use that more.
Please.
Well, they've used other things, mouth gapers,
Slobbering.
when they walk by, that kind of thing. But I like the eye groping. It's very spot on in terms of what it's talking about. Anyway, welcome to the weekend, friend. Let's have some fun, and it's gonna be fun. I don't care who you are. I don't care your political leanings. I just love that you're here and that we have a good time. But if you don't think the next 4 years are going to be an absolute acid trip for the mind, you're just not on the same page as everybody else. And I've never done acid, so I don't really know what that means, but it's the closest I can come to imagining what it might have been like back in the 60s or 70s. But from the minute that his hand came off, or sort of came off the Bible, Donald Trump went to work. And on day one, 200 executive orders, 416 within 48 hours, criminal migrants already rounded up and headed back. You got 1,500 new troops at the border. You've got the president went to Davos and back this week, yelled at the bankers and said, stop prejudicing your loan policies against conservative companies. I mean, said it to their face. Like he did in the inauguration. He said it to Biden and Kamala's face, and they had to sit there and take it. They got away with bloody murder for 4 years, and in some cases actual murder. And he put them on trial and he convicted them, and yet they still shook his hand when it was all done. This is a very different Donald Trump that we've met, and it's a very different Donald Trump era. And here's what I really love about what he's doing, and this is my main thought for the monologue this weekend. Trump has a new policy standard, and I've never seen anybody do it before, but I'm calling it the buckshot presidential policy. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever gone hunting, and I know that for most of you progressives, you never have, but if you go with maybe your uncle or grandfather or somebody, if they've got a shotgun and they take you out hunting, you'll learn all about this. But buckshot isn't just one big slug. You can shoot those things and they'll put a hole in, half of a car if you shoot a slug out of a shotgun. But if you shoot the buckshot, the beautiful thing about it is it spreads evenly and does just as much damage to everything that it hits. And so when you're taking down a really big animal, it's handier to use the buckshot than the slugs. And here's the thing. Every one of those little BBs in the buckshot, that's a different policy area that Trump is playing offense on. He's got State Department, national security, economy, southern border, gender fight in the schools. He's focused on every relief for North Carolina and California, not playing favorites when it comes to who gets the federal help, et cetera, appointments, telling the American people that better days are coming, 200 executive orders before the end of the first day. I kid you not, friends, he's on offense on every front of the battle right now. And this is the kind of manic work that he's going to do for us for the next 2 years at least, because that's how long he's got a House and a Senate guaranteed. If he does a good job, by the way, I think that he'll get the Senate and the House for the next 2 years after that. But he's not wasting any time. He understands that things can change quickly. So so by firing the buckshot and all of the pebbles going in their very different directions, but all of them with the equal intensity and fervor. Pam Bondi at Department of Justice, Kash Patel at FBI, Lee Zeldin at the EPA, Marco Rubio as Secretary of State. There's not a single part of America that's going to be left the same when he's done this time. And all of it for the better. All of it for the better. He's even talking about repainting Air Force One and getting rid of the pansy powder blue, baby blue stuff, and actually going with like more manly colors. And I don't have a problem with that. I think it would be cool if we had like a darker navy with like a more maroon or burgundy style red and make America look rich even on our airplane. Think about Panama, Greenland, Canada, the alliances we're building, the way we're going to control the travel from one side of the globe to the other as the Arctic ice caps melt. And if we align ourselves with Greenland, even if we don't take them over, even if there's just a stronger alliance, we're going to build America's footprint. And you know what he's doing all of that for? It's not even for you and me. It's not even for the average voters, because we're not terribly impacted by that one way or the other on a day-to-day basis. But for our national security for the next 30 to 50 years, that stuff is important. And he's out there playing 4D chess. He's 16 moves ahead of everybody on the map, including Putin, China, Iran, North Korea. He's ahead of everybody. And it's the way it's going to be for the future. Friends, buckle up. It's going to be awesome. Coming back with former Secretary Robert Wilkie to talk national security on That Kevin Show. Keep it right there.